in many ways, money has become a sort of a confidence game. And what I mean is, we all buy into this common idea that that $20 bill is worth a certain amount of biologically relevant goods. And that's based on our faith or our confidence in a private corporation, the Federal Reserve, and the productivity and the good credit, full faith and good credit, I think is the phrase, of the United States government. If we lose confidence in that, then the whole system begins to fail because it's just based upon our faith. It's not based on anything substantive. What's the wonderful thing about this is if we lose faith in the abstraction, it brings us back to the question of what is real. What is really important in life? And the way some communities are responding to this is they're creating their own currencies. And various communities are printing their own currency, not as a substitute for US currency, because that's against the law, but basically placing people's faith in something else, placing their faith in one another by having local currencies or things like time banks where people store hours of their time in exchange for other people's time, starts moving out of this abstract realm of finance into something that's a little more concrete and tied to people's individual talents, their creativity, their productivity, but most importantly, their sense of interdependence on one another, their sense of relationship with one another, and the need to band together to mutually support one another, to have a good quality of life, to survive, to have some kind of independence. You know, in 1766, Benjamin Franklin went to the King of England and said, you know, commerce is going pretty quickly over in the colonies now. It's very slow having to ship everything back and forth to the central bank in England. We'd really like to print our own currency now. And that would be really good for the colonies. And the king basically said, look, if you print your own currency, we'll kill you. There's no way that that's going to happen. 10 years later, when the Declaration of Independence was signed, the first thing they did was run out to the printing presses and start printing continental dollars. So a similar thing, kind of quiet revolution, is going on in more and more communities and groups and trade groups and exchange groups where people are trading free stores, goods and services, and are kind of going off the grid of the national economy in the same way that some people are becoming energy independent, producing their own energy, going off of the electrical grid, producing their own fuel through biodiesel, going off of the petrochemical grid. There may also be an opportunity for us to rediscover some old means of exchange and invent some new ones that are more right-sized to a kind of post-globalist, post-colonial. And what I mean by post-colonial is so much of our wealth is based on extracting resources from other countries, other locales, where the local people don't really benefit from the extraction of those resources, but we do. That's colonialism. So how do we have an economy where we can benefit, but we're not really taking advantage of other people? We're not hurting the planet. We're not subjugating people with substandard wages or, poor health in order to manufacture things for our enjoyment. I think this is something we need to be asking instead of just accepting that we are all minions of the almighty dollar and that doing business in dollars, because that's the way we have done things in the past, is the only way we can do it in the future.